Double cheeked up's really good.
All right, are we ready here? Follow this in.
Run an intro. There's a change in the world from the 80s and 90s, and I don't know what it is. But the 90s just win. The 90s just win to me.
The late 80s is so different also, though, from the early 80s. Early 80s still had, like, that 70s vibe still was lingering.
Yeah.
Right, and the 80s start to transform.
And then the 80s start
90s.
to turn into the 90s. That transition
Right.
of late 80s to 95. 87 to, like, 95 was, like, prime.
Yeah. It was good. Good cars.
But also, like, I'm starting to, like, kind of look back on the 2000s, and those were pretty fucking cool. Like, early 2000s was kind of sick, too.
They were amazing.
It's nostalgia. It's just
That's what it
nostalgia.
is, yeah. That's all it is.
Maybe. This movie, for sure, I can now see the light. I can understand the nostalgia.
Yeah.
I can understand what's going on. Because I think it's so drastically different than Terminator 1.
I mean, to me, Terminator is more of a like slasher horror style flick.
Yeah.
Whereas this is
Blockbuster.
this is blockbuster. It's sci-fi. It's it's thriller. It's action film. It's
To me, you could just see its influence, both probably from what it received, but definitely what it gave. Right. So we got like Stranger Things meets Goonies meets Shoot 'em Up, John Wick, like all the shotgun play, like all that kind of comes from T2. Now that I see it, it feels like Stranger Things and Goonies, like it hits that 90s teenage adventure shit.
that's a crazy thing that typically has bothered me about this movie, but I finally just came to accept it this time through, is that John Connor's supposed to be 10.
Yeah, it's a little young.
That's a fucking rough 10.
It's like looking back at those high school movies and everybody's like 30.
Stuff like that in the real world's weird, though. I was watching a stream last night. A guy was just playing one-on-one basketball, and there's some kids on the court, and they recognize the streamer and rapper, so they go and say hi. And the streamer's like 22 or something, and so he was like joking with them or whatever, and he's being pretty kind, as kind as you can be when you're trying to make content and a bunch of kids are bugging you. But then the kids leave, and the streamer and the cameraman were like talking, and they're like, dude, those kids said they were in like 6th grade. But you know what's a funny term that went away? The squeaker.
Oh, yeah.
You know the squeaker?
I don't think so. Is that
I
a
don't know
stream?
that
Is that a
one.
stream
More
term?
gaming.
I don't know.
Gaming.
It came from gaming,
Yeah.
probably. But a squeaker was like you'd like load into Fortnite, 2019, and your teammate's like a fucking who knows how old, but
Like
under the age of 15,
9.
and just like just fucking
That's a
chomping
squeaker.
at you. That's a
okay,
squeaker.
I get it. That makes sense to me.
And so these kids were squeakers, but they're like 2 of them were in like 7th or 8th grade.
But they looked older?
No, they looked like they were like fucking 5.
Oh, God.
They looked and played basketball like they're fucking 3 years old.
Well, because those kids never go outside.
So that's what I don't. But they were in this random like YMCA basketball court,
Oh.
which I do
Interesting.
respect. Like shout out to these kids' parents and these kids for living like a normal
They
kid
escaped,
life.
they escaped the daycare.
Yeah, they plugged out of the Matrix. They're
Yeah.
not just a little drooling iPad kid with boogers on the fucking. So like, John Connor. Yeah, he's a little bit ambiguous of age, but I would have put him in like a 7th and 8th grade. He looks older in this game than these squeakers did on the stream.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I thought he looked at least 14.
Which is
Yeah.
right. Yeah, freshman year, 8th grade-ish.
Yeah, 8th grade,
Yeah.
13, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
It's supposed
10's
to
a
be
little
10.
weird. 10's a little weird.
But
10's,
again,
10's a hard sell.
rough 10.
He's kind of a troubled kid,
He's
right?
had a lot of shit happen, and
Yeah.
his mom's inflicted a lot of stuff on him.
yeah.
Yeah.
The squeaker or the John Connor, I feel like 10 is the age where you don't sound like an adult, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can put sentences together without fucking shit up. Like,
Yeah,
you go talk to
yeah.
a 7-year-old, they're still kind of fucking shit up. You know? You're still kind of playing translator in between. Like, I understand what you're saying, but you just have no vocab.
Yeah.
You're slurring words. You're botching the fuck out of sentences. But 10, that's the squeaker. Because
Yeah.
you can put it all together, but your voice is just
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound
cranked on helium.
tiny.
I think a thing that bothers me too is like 10-year-old kids are kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
they don't take themselves seriously yet.
Yeah,
But they-
14.
but they don't take the world as seriously as you would think that they would, and certainly not that they did before.
No.
They're typically not obnoxious. They crack a lot of jokes.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, even 7. Taika's 7, and he's super funny. And he's just so, he sees the world in a good way.
Yeah.
He's positive. He's just mischievous in, like, an innocent way. You know, you start to be mischievous at 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had buddies that were like that, and you're just like, I don't know, man. Like, we got to kind of drop that act, you know? Because now you're going to get in trouble. You're going to go do some shit.
Yeah, now you're gonna go to juvenile hall.
Yeah, you're going to go fuck around. And even if it's stealing a Snickers bar, like, bitch, you're 16.
Juvenile
like,
hall still a thing.
Yeah.
I think probably.
Yeah, we took a tour of one when I was in high school.
You probably
Not
have
as frightening as you thought. Like,
Like scared straight.
yeah. So what it was like remember we had the intern here from Waldorf.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is you eat for a week. It used to be the whole high school. It might just be seniors now. For a week or 2 weeks, and around this time of year, you would follow a professional. But we used to do them in groups. So a professional would come and volunteer, and then take a group with a teacher or two of like 10 of us and around their job. And we followed a lawyer around. So part of it, he took us to like a crime scene. He took us to his office, and he took us to.
Yeah, showed us some dead bodies.
He showed us to dude. He took us down to the hood. He's like, yeah, I was handling, and he mostly does a lot of juveniles, but he does other stuff too. He's like, yeah, there's a shooting, and he was like walking around. We're walking around the hood.
Oh damn!
Great.
Yeah,
You're one of my parts.
Scary.
Yeah. We're probably at your apartment building, dude. He was probably looking for you. Yeah, and then he took us to juvie and took us on a little tour. It just felt weird because we were teenagers, you know.
Yeah.
It felt like a little zoo-ish.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it didn't scare me at all. It wasn't that crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a strict summer camp.
Mm.
I've been to camps where they're fucking yelling at you and shit. You know, basketball camps where you spend the night for like 2 weeks. Like, they're bitches too. They're waking you up at 6 a.m. and all
Yeah.
that shit, cleaning your room, checking your.
Was Ben Stiller your coach?
It felt like that. Speaking of that, did you see his new announcement?
Oh yeah, about the pickleball movie.
Pickleball movie.
That would be great.
He
I'm ready for that.
He should have started that 2 years ago.
Yeah, hard to get ahead of the curve.
Dude, it's hard to
right?
get. It's hard to get
But-
on the pickleball courts at my neighborhood, man. It's fucking packed.
Dodgeball.
I played last night.
Dodgeball movie crushed it, and Dodgeball the sport was still and never was cool.
Well, that's because it was never cool.
That's what I'm saying. So I think they're going to parody these wannabe pickleball people, right?
If Ben Stiller does Ben Stiller as like this like ridiculous like overconfident pickleball guy, it's gonna be funny.
Yeah. Which again, to tie this around, when was his character developed in Amazing Heavyweights?
Yeah.
Which is probably
Yeah.
like 1991.
Yeah, late 80s,
At least,
early 90s.
yeah, probably 90 to 95. Right in this range of T2. There's that, maybe it is nostalgia. Maybe I'm more biased than I think. But I hate old movies. But there's something about those movies that are like charming. And T2 has a charm to it.
Yeah.
It does.
Right? Like running around the mall and shit. Like, that's very charming to me.
Yeah.
And maybe I guess that is nostalgia because a kid's probably never been to a mall in his life nowadays.
Well, you can't go to the
maybe
mall.
not, yeah.
Yeah, you can't go to the mall around here.
We would just stomp
Unless
around
you're
the mall.
strapped up.
Yeah.
We would just stomp around Sunrise Mall.
Yeah, and now I mean the mall that's in this is I think it's the Galleria, and that I mean when I lived in LA in the early '80s, fuck, that was like everything.
Yeah.
It's like everything.
That's not the one in like Melrose.
No, that's Grove.
No.
The Grove.
Fairview, the Grove.
Yeah.
The Grove is nice.
The
still.
Grove's still popping.
yeah,
Yeah.
and really nice.
Galleria is like you know where UCLA is, and then you kind of if you're going north on 5.
Okay.
And you kind of go up the hills there, and
Yeah.
then that sort of that first jump into the valley, into the San Fernando Valley, it's off to the right.
I never hung out in the valley much.
It's still there.
Dude, I love the
think
Grove, that
this
little
is-
like food area.
yeah.
Dude, you could like there was like always like some celebrity.
I took you there, right?
Like
Didn't
that-
we go to
the
like, that
outdoor
food
food
area?
area?
Yeah, we did.
That's like a feel like you're in like you feel like you're on like another world.
No,
there.
and
It's awesome.
and walking through the Grove is like one of the few malls I've walked through in 10 years that feels like, damn, this is like cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It did feel cool.
Good stores,
Yeah.
bad stores. Bad stores meaning, you know, like lower end.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
you can also get Louis. Like there's just and there's like normal people doing normal shit.
You're watching Terminator 2 and you can smell the mall. You know, you can,
Yeah.
totally
you can smell the
the-
popcorn,
the
you can
popcorn,
smell the
yeah.
corn dog
Yeah,
batter.
yeah. Or the Annie's pretzels.
Yeah, the Cinnabon.
Cinnabon,
Dude.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, what is there a better marketing than the smell for Cinnabon? Like,
Yeah.
go to a mall, it's like, oh, I'm going to get that.
yeah, they should market that as a cologne.
One that I feel like is
Probably already is.
an underrated.
It's definitely a candle. Yankee
underrated-
Candle.
Yeah, underrated mall snack that's maybe even out of business. TCBY,
Oh yeah,
Which one was that? The
frozen yogurt.
the country's best yogurt.
And I literally think it was good.
it was pretty good. Yeah,
Like for a mall yogurt, I remember we got TCBY because it was in the old airport terminal. And my dad
right,
used
yeah.
to. My dad, when I was a kid, worked like 2 weeks away, 2 weeks home, 2 weeks away. So we'd be in the airport fucking every week picking them up, and we just slammed TCBY, life changing.
I don't remember that. I'm sure I had it, but I don't like remember it being like a thing for me.
Yeah, it was like right next to all of it. It was always like an Annie's, a Cinnabon, a TCBY.
Okay, I'm sure I had it at
I
the mall.
definitely remember it. Well, since we're talking about snacks,
Yeah.
number one, and number two, we're talking about how T2 brings a number of different elements together to make an excellent thing.
Yeah. Oh, he's got his snacks. Oh, I don't
Oh.
know, man. I've been talking shit to everyone I see post them.
I know.
Are these the Coke Oreos?
Yeah, they got to be
Yes.
overrated, right?
And they have
No, I'm sure they're
popping
delicious.
candy. Popping candy.
Oh.
So I've eaten. So have you guys had the Sour Patch ones? The Sour
No,
Patch Oreos? Those were shockingly good. It tastes like Fruity Pebbles, but they had like the little sugar crystals.
I trust my buddy Zach, flexible dieter. You might know Zach.
Yeah, I know Zach.
So
Yeah.
Zach, I do trust
We've done some
Zach's
things with him.
palate and as a human. And Zach, what he
Well, it smells exactly like Coke.
he did both. I could smell the coke from here, cocaine that is.
Oh.
Yeah, it does smell like a Pepsi.
I love the red Coke.
Yeah, the attention
branding.
to detail is good, and even to change the cookie. But what Zach said is,
Oh, mine says it. Yours has bottles.
Oh, we got
Yes, it's
variation.
Coca-Cola on this side with bubbles.
Yeah, mine's just got cans.
Did you
or
guys
bottles.
have you guys done the dark side, light side Oreos? They don't have any different flavor. They were Star Wars ones.
Oh,
and
no.
if you like opened up your pack, they're either blue or
Oh,
red.
That's fire.
It was pretty fun.
Zach
Okay.
said that they
They had different characters
spent
on 'em.
a good amount of time developing this, and this is post taste test.
Yeah.
But what he said is the drink sucked. He said the drink was just Coke.
Oh, really?
I mean, it probably wasn't, but
like
yeah.
sweeter Coke.
Yeah.
Some of the Coke variations are all awful. Are we ready?
Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah,
Coke
let's do it.
variations either.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I got like a hint of like graham cracker,
It's subtle.
or like cinnamon.
Yeah, cinnamon. It finishes kind of cinnamon.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really taste.
And it is
the
kind of
Coke.
crackling.
Yeah,
No.
it is kind of
Like
crackling.
a fizz.
It ends much better than
Oh.
it starts.
It
What do you
does.
know about Candy Rocks?
I used to love them.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what
There's
this-
something like that.
Pop
right?
Rocks? Pop Rocks.
No,
Pop,
this-
Pop Rocks. Pop Rocks.
No,
Pop
this
Rocks.
reminds me of, Jim, is those old bottle top sugar candies. That
Oh,
was like,
absolutely. Yeah, I remember
That's
those.
what this tastes
yeah,
like.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like an older candy.
yeah.
But
When I
it
go
was
to,
shaped like a bottle top.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what this tastes
there are
like.
only two places I ever saw those things. When I was growing up, there was a little market that'd been there since like the 30s that sold all the weird candies.
Yeah.
Or church camp. They would have like a snack bar for church camp, and they would sell them there.
I
That's
bet we
all
could
I
find
ever
them in
saw.
Old Sack.
No, they had them at what was the candy store at Arden Mall? Remember
Yeah, it was like an
with
old
the blue bag that was striped and clear.
Yeah. Not Sugar Factory, but yeah, you like filled your own.
Was it sugar?
I don't know. Sugar Factory is like the big one now, I think, in Vegas, which is maybe based on that.
I think it was called that though.
It might be. It literally might be.
The bags were clear and blue.
Yeah, and you
striped.
fill your own.
You filled your
They
own.
got the shark gummies, shit like that, right?
yeah, like all
Yeah.
the the ropes
Yeah,
and all
20,
that.
20 different flavors of gummies. That was ahead of its time too.
What was that place called? I
I don't know. You would feel like stores like that would
I've been
still
calling it a Sweet
succeed.
Factory or some shit. It was like something factory for sure though.
Yeah, because I think one of those, if not,
I don't mind those.
If not the same, yeah, that was fine. Not very cokey, but there's a hint of something going
A
on.
little bit of cokey. Yeah.
Cokey, but mostly cinnamon.
Yeah, graham
graham cracker.
crackery with a little bubble to it.
I don't need any more right now, but
No,
pretty
it was-
rich. It's pretty rich.
it is
Yeah.
pretty rich. Yeah, it's like normally with Oreos, like one is not going to be enough.
That
It's
one
like-
is.
Yeah, that's enough. That's plenty. That's plenty. I don't need any more. It's like a donut.
That's very Sugar Factory, whatever, is very like 90s too.
Yeah.
All those because they redid one of them. It might be Sweets. I forgot the name, but now it's like a mini chain in Vegas.
I saw your buddies collabed with fucking C4 or like somebody. Your Stripes guy,
Yeah.
the strips.
Yeah, Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max is fucking killing it. We
Yeah.
need to try his new stuff.
I ordered it.
Did you?
Yeah,
we
that
could
and
try
the
it.
grape
Oh, the grape.
ghost.
nice. Yeah, Welch's or did Welch's do C4?
It's a Welch's.
Yeah,
Ghost.
Welch's did grape ghost.
Give me some of that purple stuff.
Yeah, good.
Purple
The grape
Drive.
C4 is pretty good. And then Max was one of the first Ghost sponsors. That's why they sponsored him a long time ago.
Oh, so that was brewing.
He's had his own flavor with his own cartoon face on it, which is fucking hilarious and amazing. He's actually I think it's semi-calculated, obviously, but he's also just really good and genius at branding.
Mm-hmm.
So
the logo for the stripes and strips
from day one, he was eating sugar candy in the gym. Not that he invented that; other people were doing it too. But he did a shit ton.
Kind of
of
made
it.
it like his thing.
And margaritas. So then he makes a ghost flavor. Shout out Max. A ghost flavor that's like a mango margarita ghost.
Yes.
And it was pretty good.
Strabango margarita.
And then that was limited. And then then he did Sour Strips one. Have you had those candies? They are good.
I see them at Target all the
Yeah.
time. I think I had them from you here once,
Yeah.
but I'm just not buying candy like that.
I don't either. But they are good. So shout out to him to make like a legitimate. Because, when you think of like a YouTuber turned company, you always think
But that
it's
one's dope. That's
the
stuff's cool.
Walmart version or whatever. But his candy's legitimately good. It is. And he's crushing it.
The colors are vibrant.
Yeah. But he just came out with what? Like a chewy square, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bite versus like a strip. I'm more of a bite guy if I had to.
Yeah, the strips are kind of messy.
Yeah,
Do you
they're
remember
long,
this-
thin.
I like this T2 is like one of those movies where you go see it and you got the little pack of the sour strips.
Yeah.
The little
the-
plastic tray.
Yeah, the straw.
Yeah.
I would always get those at the movie theater.
Yeah. I would go
be the
straw,
little tray.
popcorn.
You'd put it in your soda and drink your soda with the straw.
Yeah, yeah.
And then all
That's
that would be
diabetes.
all,
Yeah.
dude, hell yeah. And then it would get all cold and then hard.
You know that movie theater snacks are S tier because they haven't changed.
Yeah, for the most part, they're about the same.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
going to get a popcorn, you're going to get a little sour deal, you're going to get a fucking Reese's Pieces or some shit. Like everything that sucks has gone away.
I've really come to enjoy. I've only done it twice, but going to the movies by myself.
I had a
it is
me and
so.
Jim talked about
I do it all
it
the
is
time.
so fucking nice.
I do all the time.
I had a
Why is it so nice?
pre-COVID, I was going every single Tuesday, even if it was a movie.
Did
I
you have
didn't
like the
wanna watch.
pass where you could
No,
go whatever?
but like before noon, it was like $5. So
Yeah.
I'd go to like one of the ones out in the burbs, and I kept doing it while I moved down here too. But yeah, I would go to the one at Delco or whatever, and movie theaters are fucking nice now. Literally, no one's there,
Yeah.
no one's there anymore.
and you'd sit in these loungers and just vibe out for $5.
I saw Batman, the newest Batman, and I saw Dune. Like first day they came out at like 10 a.m.
Yeah, no one's
and
there.
there was like me and 4 other people there.
Remember the hype behind Endgame and all that? I saw that the Tuesday after it came out, and no one's there.
I saw it that night at like midnight, opening night. It was sold out.
Yeah, of course.
But-
people were raging for those tickets.
Yeah.
Reselling them for price hikes.
Oh, the Coke flavor lasts.
It lingers.
Yeah, it really does linger. Lingers on the tongue.
That is an interesting collab.
Yes, it's. I don't understand
To
it.
see,
but
to see like the two.
Oreo doesn't stop, man. They're Full Metal down.
Yeah,
Pedal to
those
the
are
metal.
like the two king brands. You know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's fucking America.
It's just a red 40 party.
Yeah,
if they can figure out how to get Velveeta into Coca-Cola or vice versa, that'd be
Yeah.
another very American thing.
Oh yeah.
Coca-Cola Velveeta queso
queso dip.
for
Yeah, they probably could.
at Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Except
Yeah.
that Taco
Oh.
Bell is only Pepsi, so
Yes, they
Yeah.
are. You have to get Diet Pepsi there. I got Taco Bell last night.
really. I heard their collabs have been less than stellar.
Dude, the Dorito logo taco doesn't even taste like Doritos. It's the most overrated shit ever.
No, the worst I heard was Cheez-Its.
I didn't try that.
Oh.
Because they did like a
I saw
big
that.
Cheez-It.
Yeah, it's Cheez-It,
Who
right?
was it? Maybe Kyle. Somebody told me that like you get it and it's not even like the same texture or taste. Like it's not a Cheez-It.
And then they would throw that little thing in the Crunchwrap Supreme.
Right.
too.
Which by description sounds fucking awesome.
Yes.
yeah.
Like I love Cheez-Its, but I heard it's like soft. I heard it's not like a Cheez-It.
Yeah, it was
the
probably wasn't
flavor's
good.
not there.
That's a problem. Yeah.
But a giant, I mean, even just selling a giant Cheez-It's kind of a play. I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Just one big, like you cake or cracker, you rip it and you just charcuterie board it or something.
Yeah.
And everyone's just ripping it off. You know, like you get a loaf at a fancy place and everyone
Yeah.
does a
Yeah,
little
why
rip.
doesn't Cheez just make a box of just like huge Cheez-Its? Like there's
They
like 10
should-
of them in a box.
if
Don't they
it's-
make some that are about this big now?
No,
I
I'm
think those are
talking.
pretty-
they look
I'm
good.
talking a
Those
nice
chips are
one
good,
by
too.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A one
Oh.
by one that comes in a tray with charcuterie.
Like the novelty, like candy around the hall, like Christmas time.
Yeah, or like you think of like because like college kids will try to do like a party, but they can't really do like a nice. They can't go to Cordy Brothers and grab a charcuterie, but they could buy a $30 Cheez-It charcuterie.
Like these big brands. I know we're going like way down another rabbit hole, but like these big brands though, like a Cheez-It or somebody, right? It's like they know, like they have to know. They need to hire guys like our age, right? Like that's like. Dude, no, we need to make like a giant fucking Cheez-It, and we need to sell it, and then we need to give it to, we need to pay homegirl to post about it on TikTok. We need to make this like a thing.
That's so easy.
And then everyone's going to go buy Cheez-Its.
And then you get like a $5 off a bag of wine to go with it,
Yeah.
and you just throw a Rager.
Yeah.
That literally would dominate social media.
You make
for
this
a
like
second.
weird, funny, like you have people post about like these Cheez-It like wine parties.
And by
then they turn
marketing,
into a TikTok trend.
by marketing standard, just give us your budget too. Like whatever Cheez-It paid for one commercial, probably $1 million. Like just give me that, and I'm gonna hit so many influencers up, pay them $10K each, and get
even
fucking,
$5K.
Yeah, no, yeah,
double
Yeah,
down.
we'll do all of it. We'll layer the system, and we'll absolutely crush with a. I don't know what to call it quite yet, but yeah, like a loaf of Cheez-It.
That would be huge.
It could be. Food stuff on the internet seems so easy.
What other brand can you do that with? Like a Dorito, like a giant Dorito?
Yeah, I mean they did the gummy bear forever, right? I remember being a kid or Hershey's. You could buy like a pound of Hershey's.
Yeah.
Giant Kiss, giant Reese's.
That's just
there's
such
so many
easy.
different flavors of not flavors, but in sizes of giant Reese's too.
Yeah,
because there's the ones that look like a pie, and now there's one that's like this big, sort of moon pie sized.
Moon pies are low key 90s and delicious.
Yeah. You go to you want the moon pie spot is Bass Pro Shop.
Oh,
They literally
that makes
have like
sense.
an entire moon pie section,
I like
by
that.
the checkout, every flavor on the planet.
You know who's the only place doing the 90s justice in the modern day? Buc-ee's.
I've never been to one.
Never been to one either.
It'll change your guys' lives.
I'm a big gas station guy though.
I'm a huge gas station guy.
Yeah.
I talk about it every day because we have the best gas stations in Las Vegas.
Oh, I'm
And
sure.
everyone just makes fun of me and
You can
laughs
do-
at me.
you can do
I say that-
slots.
I say that you can, and not only can you do slots, I'll go 9 a.m. to get literal gas and an energy drink, and someone's in there playing.
Right, because they're like, oh, honey, I'm going to go get gas. And they're just like fucking spending their rent on fucking inside.
Literally. And like every gas station, there's one dude playing. Every what do we have? Albertsons. There's one dude playing.
Yeah.
Someone's playing. You're getting free drinks.
Albertsons. That's where they all went to Vegas.
They did.
They left NorCal and went to Vegas.
I think it's a monopoly. I think it's Fred Meyer,
Owns
Albertsons, and one or two, maybe even Safeway.
Save Mart.
I don't know, but they're all a conglomerate. Like it's a
there's
fucking,
only like
and they're about to buy one more. Like I think they're buying HEB or
I
something.
think all the Albertsons here turned to Safeways. So it's probably Safeway.
Yeah, and then what's north, right?
Save
Fred
Mart.
Save Mart, is that what it is?
What's north? Fred Meyer, right?
Yeah, Kroger.
Kroger. They're all the same.
Oh, yeah.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
But
I'm a Bel Air Rayleigh's. That's what I usually go.
That's what I
usually
grew
what's
up
around
on.
me.
It was right next to me growing up, so I grew up on a Rayleigh's. But the gas stations there are called Rebels. Not all of them, but most Rebels are like like dope AM PMs. Like some of them will have, and I don't drink, but they'll have like a beer cave, and it looks cool like a cave. You know, like people do pop-ups, but you go in there and it's a giant room of beer.
Oh, that's cool.
Just at a gas station.
Dude, the AMPM right next to CK Warehouse, like they're like on it, dude. Something new comes out, they got it fucking in there same day.
Yeah.
Every new flavor of fucking energy drink,
Yeah,
every
Starburst
new
or
every new protein bar,
Yeah.
every new chip flavor.
That's why I like
that's
gas
where you
stations.
go. And I would do like buy it. I would always go there because I would just buy it and then I would like send a video to my buddies trying it. You
Yeah,
know what
I
mean? Like,
love shit like that. And because they'll get it almost before the marketing happens.
yeah,
Like
they
you'll
do.
see it there before you see a bunch of
Yeah,
people
I
posting
mean,
about
if you're doing it right, that's how
Yeah,
you do it.
true,
You know,
true.
you get the product out there first. Well, anyway,
Yeah, that's very 90s too.
yes.
Going to the gas station, grabbing snacks. I don't know who was talking about it. It might have been a different podcast I was listening to. Maybe we talked about it at some point, but doing criminal activities. We were just talking about kids doing it a little bit. I never like stole anything in my life,
No, that's not me. I've done it on accident.
but I definitely snuck some candy into a movie theater.
Oh yeah.
That shit's overpriced.
Yeah, no, that's fuck them.
Fuck them, right?
Fuck them.
All right.
I've been at like Target and had the kids in like the basket and then like something like rolled behind them and I didn't scan it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm not going back inside.
Well, if you got a kid, they got sticky fingers.
Yeah, no,
They
it
just
was like
grab
a
it
fucking,
and shit.
what it was a fucking like $40 bottle of fucking vitamins.
Yeah, they
It,
don't
like,
even
rolled
want
by-
it.
Like
They
it
just
rolled
grab
like
it.
behind my daughter's like fucking what's it called, car seat.
Yeah.
and totally didn't even see it.
Yeah, of course.
And then just walked.
So you're a criminal.
Yeah, I'm a thief.
Were you trying to buy it, or did it just?
No,
end up in
I
the
bought
cart?
like a bunch of shit. And I did self checkout, and then I just didn't take her out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it rolled behind. I
But
never
she
even
didn't grab
saw it.
But she didn't grab it.
No. Like I was
I
gonna.
I
I
could
was
see
gonna
her
buy
doing
it.
it. That's what I mean. But like a kid just grabbing some shit because they're just a kid.
And then I got Brock and her with me, so I'm doing self checkout. They're fucking yelling at me. I'm making sure he's not running off,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm just scanning. And I just
Pulling
totally
each other's hair
didn't
and
even
shit.
realize. But yeah, and obviously, like I got to the car, I'm like, well, I'm not going back inside.
Understandable.
far.
Like, okay, speaking of kids stealing things, though it is entirely impossible in the real world, John Connor's ATM pin hacking
Yep.
computer,
Quality 90s.
fantastic.
Even
Totally
his
fantastic.
run around the city on a motorcycle.
Dude, the dirt bike.
What'd you
dude,
say? He's
so
supposed to
much
be
drip.
10?
Supposed to be 10.
Yeah.
On the screen, he's 10.
Even 14, right? Like
Yeah.
14 screaming around on a motorcycle, no helmet, in 1991 in LA. I don't know if that's allowed.
Well,
Bro, it is, dude. I had my biker's permit at 15 years old, and I had a fucking Daytona 670 or Daytona.
But he's 10.
I know. I'm saying you said 14. I was saying,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
was
true.
Dude, I had my biker's permit at 15. Thinking about how young a 15-year-old
Yeah,
is now, like
it's
that
bad.
is. I had a 200 mile an hour machine between my legs
Yeah.
on the street at 15 years old.
Did you still have to wear a helmet? I assume.
Certain states
I don't
now.
know I don't know if the helmet laws have come in yet.
Because I
mean,
know, even still, like seeing dudes screaming around Vegas, no helmet.
Stupid.
Ohio, because it's not the law.
Yeah, donor cycles.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's stupid. Because I feel like if you're eating it, you're fucking done either way.
Nah, dude, those helmets save your ass.
Yeah.
Save your life for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I just feel like you're done.
You fall off a golf cart and die
Yeah.
with no helmet.
That's true. I've flipped a golf cart or twice.
Happened in my neighborhood recently.
Yeah, no, we were being idiots, but we lived.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have been on grass, hopefully. Yeah,
No,
on
it was
concrete,
grass. It
dude.
was
Yeah,
grass.
15 miles an hour on concrete. If you don't brace yourself and your head hits the ground, dude, you're down.
Yeah, we were on grass. We were golfing. But, a hill looks enticing on the way to your ball, so you crank one.
Yeah, just
Jackass style.
Yeah, it really was. The golf carts were fucking flying.
Yeah, he's a badass on that dirt bike, though. The parking lot scene with the dirt bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very, anti-motorcycle. Not very, but I am anti-motorcycle in general, but
Don't you ride one you ride one here?
I basically do, but it's a bicycle.
It's not. That's a motorcycle.
Yeah, I am moving pretty good, but I am anti them, and I would never take it on like a real road. But if I saw this as a kid, and you see Arnold head off into the LA River,
Oh, on the actual, like on the hog.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Yeah.
Even the opening scene, I'm like, dude, I want to go to a bar now and fight a Harley Davidson guy.
Yeah, and have him put out his cigar on my chest.
Yeah, and then I want to beat the fuck out of him, and I'm taking his bike and his cool jacket.
Don't they like call him gay or something? Don't
Yeah.
they, like, I can't remember.
Yeah.
'Cause he's naked too,
Yeah.
right?
Well, he's very naked.
Yeah,
What
no,
do they say to him?
no dong in this one.
Yeah,
There
But they-
wasn't dong.
No dong in this one.
It is funny how they just have to and I get that the story's the same. He got sent back, but I'm like, we can skip that part. Like, we just saw him naked. We understand that he's naked and has to find a way to get close, but they want to build that up every
That's
time.
the. But
I'll
that's,
take your clothes, your boots, and your
I need your
motorcycle.
clothes, your boots, on your motorcycle. Yeah, it's crazy. To me,
Such a good movie.
the time that passed in between Terminator and Terminator 2, Arnold does not look as good in Terminator 2.
He is a little deflated.
He's
Yeah.
slim. He's
So,
slimmed up.
Yeah.
Real life, it's what, 7 years? 84 to 91?
84 to 91, yeah.
And then in the movie, it's 10 and a
It's
half
10,
years.
Yeah, 10
Right.
and a half years.
I wonder what he was doing. What else he was doing during
Well,
this?
was
What
it
movie?
this?
It could have been.
Dean's brought in it for
That looks
us.
a little newer.
This was Reagan or
I think it was Reagan.
Bush?
I don't know.
Is Reagan the one that's got a house out here?
Well, he's dead. I don't know how many houses he has at this point.
There's a Reagan. There's a presidential mansion in Carmichael, Art and Arcade. I thought it was Reagan.
No, nobody ever lived in that.
No, but who was it for?
It was for Reagan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. That's what I mean.
Didn't the governor? This is a sidetrack. Didn't the governor used to live above, and like in California? Didn't they always used to live above P.F. Chang's?
No, that one did. Gray Davis.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
No, I
he
think like
was-
a penthouse up there.
Yeah, he lived above McCooney, but it
Okay.
wasn't McCooney at the time.
Got it.
Yeah,
He did?
yeah.
I remember hearing that. I don't know what.
I thought it was-
16 and J.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jerry Brown.
Who's the newest? Jerry Brown.
Jerry Brown.
Then it's Jerry Brown. I got my name.
Yes, Gray Davis was recalled, and that's how Arnold got to be governor.
All right, so
I always
Jerry
forget
Brown's,
that. I always forget
Jerry
that he was our
Brown's
governor.
like 2010, 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
I did
Thinking that
too.
was weird.
Where the opposite, like Arnold, Newsom, a lot of those cats live out by where I went to high school. They live on the river, like Carmichael meets Fair Oaks.
Yeah, and the Reagan thing, the reason they took forever to build that mansion.
Yeah.
So he was out of office by the time,
Yeah.
nearly out of office by the time that it was finished, and there were problems with it, so they never moved in. They actually lived in my neighborhood.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know Chad just said someone like bought it for the first time or something. Because Chad's a fireman out there now
Yeah.
in my hood.
Oh, he moved? He's not at Rancho Cordova anymore?
Yeah, he's in Carmichael.
Oh.
Not to dox him.
Yeah, just doxed him, bruh.
That's right.
And yourself.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
I'm not there anymore. But I know those streets.
So what we have before us here, the Arnold President's Council on Physical Fitness picture signed by the man himself. And if you're watching on YouTube, we have the Terminator 2 Judgment Day poster signed by both Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger that Dean keeps in his office at Caffeine and Kilos.
No, that's in my home office.
Oh, home office. Okay.
Yeah, that's my gaming office / work office.
Excellent.
You got to...
Next to, right in between those, right on the other side of that one is Last Crusade. That one's signed by the entire cast, too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That one's cool, too. Sean Connery's signature's on that one. Harrison Ford. And everybody else.
Harrison Ford's got to be the hardest one because I just feel like he's not interested in the trappings of fame
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah, that he does, but then he does everything.
He kind of does everything now, especially, yeah.
What's the genre, or maybe not the genre, but I was telling Dean out front that, like, T2 I understand, now you get, like, lifelong fans. And I understand some of the lore of it, or, like, the fandom.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, missing. Maybe because the trilogy doesn't hit as hard, but it's still, like, not... And, like, the merch stuff, although all this stuff is dope, isn't, like, the same as, like, a Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, right? And Indiana Jones would be another one, right? I would probably put Indiana Jones and, like, Predator, maybe even Rocky, although it's obviously sports, kind of in the Terminator category, right? Like, why didn't they go to, like, fucking forever stardom?
I think it's because of the age demographic. All the stuff you're talking about is catered to kids, where this was like more adult entertainment.
But when I saw T2 for the first time, I saw it at the Cinedomes when they still existed.
The titties, we called them.
Yeah.
No, those were weird. I remember looking up as a kid. It's like, whoa.
I saw a lot of movies at the titties, like epic movies.
Yeah.
Like Remember the Titans.
Fucking
Lion King.
Yeah.
I saw Lion King as
there.
a kid
They're
there.
probably there together, dude. Didn't even know.
Dude, that's insane. It's probably true.
You know?
It was some kind of a school break. And there were like 4 or 5 11-year-olds that had somehow gotten in because this was PG-13 or R.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And back in this time, PG-13 was what R is now.
Yeah,
Back in the day.
and I feel
Those
like
ratings have changed drastically.
this might be like too big to say, but like I feel like parents were more like strict on that shit. At least my world. You know, like my parents didn't really let me watch PG-13 until I was like 11 or 12. I didn't allow to watch R until I was like 14, 15,
I think
16.
they were more strict.
You know, where now I feel like I've never heard anyone talk about ratings ever.
Yeah.
Like it's not a conversation.
Well, also like you can just buy your ticket online. You can be any age, just fucking walk in the theater.
Yeah, or
no one's gonna stop you.
You get it on your fucking. You got an iPad at fucking 8. You can definitely get to fucking a freebie.
Yeah. I was just listening to a podcast about Batman Returns and how the first one was really the movie that the studio wanted him to make. What's his name?
Are you talking about Tim Burton?
Tim Burton, thank you. The second one was the one that he wanted to make.
Is the second with Arnold?
No.
No, these are
Batman
the
and Robin.
what's his name? This isn't
I get them all confused. I've seen them all.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. You're thinking
It's
of
the second Michael Keaton.
what's his name? Did
George?
Clooney.
Yeah.
Clooney was Batman
in
and Robin.
Which I'm a Batman Robin fan. I loved that movie. I still
Those
do.
are what? Probably 94. That's kind of in this Arnold area, right?
Little after.
Yeah.
I really liked Batman and Robin because it was so cartoony.
Yeah, I like it too.
But a lot of people hate on it. I don't know.
Yeah, Poison Ivy and all that shit's
Yeah,
great
Bane in that was like actually like Bane from the comics.
But
in
in
95.
in Batman Returns, the Penguin is just trying to kill kids,
Yeah.
and it was rated PG-13.
Yeah.
So it went hard in that area, and people were complaining like I couldn't take my kid to see this movie. They were scared or whatever.
Well, he's
whatever.
also fucking horrifying.
Because it has because it's not for kids.
Yeah.
And this is not for kids, clearly.
No, these aren't.
But although there was a prominently featured kid in it, I was telling Mike yesterday that like typically I have felt like Edward Furlong, who plays John Connor, was not good in this film. I felt like it was a very amateurish.
Yeah, he's not a very good actor.
Lackluster performance. And then I watched it this time, and I watched the full-on director's cut that has a few more scenes.
Okay.
And he has a few more scenes with the Terminator, and it just worked better for me. And I started thinking about it this way, like, what if John Connor was on the spectrum? It's like, that would explain
his awkwardness.
Because
he is awkward in the regular one. I don't know if I've seen the director's cut or not, to be honest with you. I've seen the movie a bunch of times, but I don't know if I've seen like a longer...
The major differences are the flashback sequence with the whole future war thing and
with the fence.
The fence, that's a longer scene. It's probably a minute and a half longer or so.
That's a scene terrified me as a child.
Understandably, it's a terrifying scene. And there's a scene near the beginning of the movie where Sarah's in a cell and she's been drugged after she's had a freak out on the psychologist guy, and Kyle Reese comes to her in the dream.
Oh.
Which explains a lot, but isn't totally necessary, but explains a lot because she becomes just increasingly more paranoid about what's going on with John when she's in the hospital, when she's in the mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see that it was like not all that motivated, and that scene really brings them, her subconscious mind is like driving her to escape so that she can try to protect John. There is a scene where, in the gas station after they escape from LA and they're hiding in the gas station and they're trying to fix the Terminator's wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah's
in the back.
Yeah, and Sarah's got the she's gotten swiped by the blade that the T-1000 Terminator, the polymimetic alloy version of Terminator sticks the blade to the roof of the elevator.
Goes through her shoulder.
Goes through her shoulder, yeah. And John says, like, "Can you learn?" And he said, I programmed to be able to learn. But the rest of that scene is that his processor is only in read-only mode, so it can't change. And he said, but it could be changed. And so she cuts the top of his head open and she pulls that processor out. So you see what the full processor looks like, which is a critical like MacGuffin in the whole movie. The piece of the original Terminator that Miles Dyson has gotten hold of, and it's really driving the development of Skynet. So it's one of those weird causality loops. Anyway, you're supposed to just take this thing out and you flick a switch and you put it back in, and then suddenly he can learn.
Most computers work that simply.
Yes, of course they do. What you miss, however, is that she takes it out and she puts it on a workbench, and she's got a hammer in her hand and she's about to just bust it. And John stops her.
Yeah, I'd stop her too.
And he finally says, and this is something that should have been in the movie. He says, "If I'm supposed to be this great leader, maybe you should listen to me once in a while, bitch."
He says that to his mom?
Yeah. He doesn't say bitch, but
I'm getting backhanded.
She hasn't been the best mom in his eyes.
I don't think so. No.
Sure. But that's some of it's out of her hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you come to find out, I guess.
The such a huge contrast between the performance of that character in the first movie and the second movie, because it was almost like they knew they were going to make a sequel, except they didn't. Like it was
Just
just
like preparing for it.
Yeah,
like you would see
whereas-
more nowadays.
where her whole performance is kind of in her upper register. She sounds younger, and in T2 she's down here. John,
Yeah.
she's got that really gravelly whiskey and cigarettes
She's
voice.
been in the pen,
Yeah,
She gets all jacked in there.
yeah, she is jacked.
Yeah.
Like Linda Hamilton got significantly jacked for
Yeah.
this film.
Yeah,
Just doing chin-ups on her padded walls.
dude. The milk carton scene with the T1000.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's just burned into my brain.
Yeah, that's the stepmom is the same one who same actress who plays the lesbian Hispanic Marine in Aliens,
Oh,
yeah.
True.
and is the stepdad is Xander Barkley, who's been in there fucking everything, everything. So when that knife goes through
Yeah.
the milk carton and his mouth and the back of his head, that's
Yeah.
that was shocking the first time I saw it.
Yeah, it was. And it's the milk coming out. This is a brilliant scene.
Yeah. And it was Lady Lee milk is like the Lucky brand.
There's
milk.
something about that bottle too, that milk carton that was just like you just remember it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Weird.
that's kind of
It made you want to drink milk out of a carton. You know
Yes. Now they all have even if it's a carton, it's got the
what I mean? Little cap on it.
cap on the side.
I remember when orange juice fell. I feel like orange juice started doing that first.
I think you're right.
I mean, those are bitches to open sometimes. Those like
Oh, they totally are.
the folded glued cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reminds me of just like hot lunch at school.
Yeah, those are
You can't
so
get the
hard to
thing
open.
all the way open.
You
Yeah.
just fucking
Never.
start
Yeah, those
cranking
are all
it.
twisting.
Dude, when you
into
got
everything.
lucky when the chocolate milk was still a little frozen from being in the freezer at school, it was
The
like a
20-year-old
milkshake.
freezer.
Yeah. Things are working overtime. Probably had just full of lead.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, you're drinking out this cardboard as fucking glue and dye all over it. It's
Yeah.
just soaping up.
This has been sitting in a lead-filled freeze.
It's literally
fridge.
marinating your milk with fucking
Probably sprinkled
chemicals.
with some asbestos. Yeah. What else was I going to say? This film, as we're saying, is just spectacular. It's nearly perfect. I can't really, now that have resigned myself to Edward Furlong's performance actually sort of being good, I can't really find much of a flaw in this thing.
The pacing.
Pacing's really good.
The
especially
introduction
compared to the other one.
Yeah, the introduction of the T1000, that whole thing was just, you were just on your edge of your seat every time you saw him. He was just coming at you.
It really is just like, to me, totally different movie and way better than T1. Like they're both, like you guys said in the last podcast, like they are both just kind of a chase, So like base storyline's the same, but the chase itself is so much more like entertaining in T2.
And they keep having to be drawn back into places that they know that they shouldn't go.
Yeah, it's obviously much more complex story. Yeah, the acting, obviously Arnold gets to say a few more words. The action's way better, and although the special effects are still corny because we're 40 years in the future, or whatever the fuck, they're like good corny, like they're what you expect corny.
The T1000 stuff, like for its time, was like mind
good.
bending.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like whoa, especially when he's all shot up, and then he just kind of like comes back together at the mall,
No, it's not like
just taking those shots.
yeah, it's not like out of the realm now either. Like you see it and you're like, all right, I get it, it's the 90s, but it's not like taking you out of it.
No,
not in the same way that the face prosthetic in the first movie.
Yeah, or even the robot walking around in the first one, like pure robot. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's also like, do I want it to look super real? Not really.
yeah,
probably
The
not.
older I think the older I get, the more you want it to kind of, you want to be, you want it to
be
look
a
kind of
movie.
more fake.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like a thing now, though. I think that's also like people watch soap operas because they look so fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't look like real life, like a reality TV show. Or
I
else
wonder
it
what
would-
the soap opera market's like right now.
I think it's still thriving, dude. You know what I mean? Like people like live on that shit.
The
Well, a
acting
new
is
one
crazy.
just started, and that's for the first time that there was a new one in probably 30 years.
Yeah, I think people
That's
are
funny.
living on that. The way that they're shot with the filters they use to make
Yeah.
it look ultra fake, like
And the acting.
yeah,
It's like high school drama class.
yeah.
To really go off on a tangent here, I was watching this thing the other day. It was an ad. It was like an Instagram ad, but it went on and on and on and on. And it was for a podcast series. And the premise of it is this black gentleman with, you know, he had the little braids and the whole whatever. So he has a certain look, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marries into this very white family. And
is this out?
The movie? No, it is
Get
not
Out.
out. It's not Get Out. No,
Get
it's not
Out. That's right.
Yeah.
It's not Get Out.
Get Out's a good movie,
It's
too.
it's in its own way kind of worse than that because they live with mother-in-law, and she is just a prime bitch. She is just
This is a podcast?
yes, it's a podcast, but they filmed all of these scenes that are for promo, but the thing just kept going from scene to scene to scene. And it's terrible. Like it's very porn acting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very, very porn acting. But I kept watching it because I wanted to see what happened. Like everybody shits on this guy, and about midway through, you find out that a friend tells him, "It's like, oh hey, I saw that whatever coin went through the roof, and you're like probably the richest man in the world right now," and he doesn't tell anybody that he's
I wouldn't either.
that he's so rich. Just
Well, you'd have that emperor chair.
I just have a fucking Darth Vader chair in my office. Maybe every office.
people would know. And yeah, I mean then the wife works for a family company, and because of some screw up, they've lost like $70 million that they have to pay back to a client, and she's only can come up with 30 million of it, and she needs 40 million.
She's
more.
rich too.
She's rich too.
Yeah, who the hell just comes up with 30 mil?
Yes, they're all and it's like this whole thing about they were getting it from another company, and then it turns out that the other company is owned by the husband's family,
Oh.
and he ends up ultimately being the CEO of this company, but nobody knows.
This was an ad?
It's an
full
ad.
story ad?
I watched 20 minutes of this fucking thing, and
That's
it's
wild.
terrible, but I want to know what happens
Yeah,
next.
it's all about the writing. If it's good writing, people will watch anything.
Yeah. I don't know if shout out if you've actually seen this thing, because it is so weird.
I don't know if I can do podcasts like that.
How do you guys feel about like the fake ad podcast shit that's all over Instagram and TikTok now? It's like where someone's like pretending like they're on a podcast, but it's actually just an ad for like a product.
Yeah. Or
Oh,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah.
sitting down filming.
Oh, this whole thing? Oh yeah, this is that one company. Well, what's it? And they pretend like they're like trying to, and it's like someone just paid somebody to like put a microphone in front of somebody and did a fake ad.
Yeah. What do they call it?
I hate those.
Creator generated ads or
It's like
creator
fake
content.
It's like fake organic content.
Yeah. Just because, and I would even say we've already missed that ship of like marketing. Like there was
Yeah,
a
it was
second
like a second where it was a thing.
and everyone's posting podcast clips, and not that podcast,
But they weren't even
clips
real
don't do
podcasts.
good.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like when they actually were doing good.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
like the Rogan stuff was going extra viral. Like we've almost moved on from that too. You'll see them, and some are funny, but it's not as popular as it was for a second. Everyone was like, all the internet was just long form chopped into short, but it's
Yeah.
not like that anymore.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, content's in a weird spot because you get some highly overproduced stuff like that, or someone sitting at a desk talking and highly edited, and then you get like really shittily filmed and edited skits or something that still do really, really well.
It's so
Like
funny, dude.
RBC
Like
World.
you see people now where it's like they don't even post podcasts on podcasts like casting networks. They only do them for clips.
Yeah, or TikTok.
For TikToks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the whole podcast is a TikTok
Yeah.
that doesn't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
I wonder if they even film it like that. Like they just have talking points, so it's like film, stop, film, stop.
Yeah, I think that's
and
what they
they're
do.
in
Probably
this
so.
format,
Yeah, that's what they do.
where obviously back in the day it would be, back in the day meaning 2 years ago, would be more organically
Oh,
filmed.
the internet, that's 50 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does
It's
feel
like
that way.
dog years.
Yeah,
internet
especially
years.
like marketing and trending. Yeah, it would be like a long form podcast, and then you'd actually just clip out the organically funny or entertaining bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the truth is most of these motherfuckers aren't organically funny or entertaining. So they're
That's
going to have to
the
go to
problem, yeah.
ChatGPT and say, hey, give me 10 prompts that give 10 clips to pretend that I'm in a podcast. That's literally what they do, and they'll read them.
Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah. Fuck those people.
Fuck them all. Go watch T2.
Go watch T2. Yeah, no, it's kind of sad though. Like you were saying, Mike, earlier. It's like you want more T2, and that's what kept you watching the newer ones after that.
Yeah,
but
but they're
just
not there.
never got.
They never
there.
recapture the magic. I will say this: I did start watching the Terminator Zero anime, and it is good.
Yeah, I
It
don't
is
doubt
good.
it.
I am not a huge anime fan. There are things about anime that are just like stock and trade of anime that bother me. There are dead spaces in anime.
Mm-hmm.
There are times where
Yeah, a lot of things are slow sometimes.
you're looking at a character and like their eyes are like, and they're frozen and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ineffectual movement in anime, like where you're being physically threatened by a thing and you should get the fuck out of the way, and they're really bothers me. That bothers me a lot. Just fucking move.
That's why they have those versions of Dragon Ball where you can watch it without all that shit. Have you seen those? Like, they have like specific Dragon Ball like that they made, where it basically cuts out all the filler episodes it cuts out all the filler like dialogue and stuff, and then they released it as like Dragon Ball something else.
Yeah,
and
I mean it makes sense. Aren't there animes with like 20,000 episodes?
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
No,
It's
what's
one of
like is it Hunter x Hunter? There's one that's
it's
like
not Hunter x Hunter.
there's one of them that's known for like 30,000 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, like it just
Bleach.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's like called Bleach.
You just go on forever, and people watch it like the whole thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, give me the non-filler version.
I watched one of those Witcher animes.
Yeah,
Those were pretty good.
Oh really?
You guys like if you like The Witcher.
I've never watched The Witcher.
I haven't either, but I've heard it's good.
Man, it was so good until that last season when they basically fired everybody and I still had to film. Like you just like it was so. It went from like my favorite show to like the worst shit ever.
Dang.
But like the first 2 seasons are fucking gold.
An anime run of all these things I think would be good. Like I even remember as a kid, it probably doesn't hold up very well, but the animated version of The Hobbit, that was like,
the Ralph Bakshi. That
Dude, give us like
the first half of it came out, I think, when I was in high school.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
old.
the second half of it didn't come out until the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I think that's when they'd start to like replay it on like Cartoon Network or wherever I saw it, and I loved it as a kid.
Yeah, it was
But,
a
like,
combination of like
it kind of looks anime-y, right? Like vintage.
Yeah. It's some of it is cell animation and some of it is live action stuff that has been colorized to look like it's animated.
Yeah, like
So,
I feel like they could do all that now,
Yeah.
right? Like why not do a Star Wars one? And I know they've done like
why
some.
isn't? But why? But like, why is there not a straight up fucking 10 episode arc of like a really good Star Wars anime instead of
they should.
what was it called, the Visions, where they give us like a little taste of like a bunch of different styles. Like, no, give us like the style that we want, that Ronin style.
Yeah.
Give us that shit and give us like 10 episodes
And
of
just
fucking
retell
Ronin.
the story. It's not like it hasn't been done with Star Wars because there.
They give me the same story. I don't care.
BBC did radio versions of the first 3 movies.
Yeah, basically a podcast.
Yeah, essentially.
Podcast
yeah.
version.
Yeah,
Or your what's it called? Like
it's like a reader's theater kind of
or
deal.
ebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like Clone Wars is really good. Some people like Rebels and some of these other ones, but there's definitely room there. Clone Wars is another one that there's just like filler episodes and
There's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah,
Especially
and
the
it's
first couple seasons were like, where's Grievous? Oh, he got away. Next week we'll try and get him again.
Yeah,
and
it's
there's like
more
that
like-
shit over and over again.
it's more
Then
like
it got like a real story.
it's built to be like a TV show versus a TV series.
Yeah.
Right, where you're just kind of watching forever. Whereas a series, in my opinion, it has like it's a movie condensed.
Like
right?
a limited series.
Stranger
where
Things
yeah.
is like a fucking movie. You know,
it's
We're-
it's a 10-hour movie.
Why not do
or
that?
whatever.
Yeah, animated Star Wars. It makes
give
sense.
us like a-
Lord of the Rings Star Wars, or it sounds like this Terminator one might be that.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. It's got a lot of how to say, kind of woo-woo-ish elements to it, like the artificial intelligence in Japan is very ethereal and like it's in a you know what Cerebro looked like in the X-Men
Yeah.
things.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like that, except it's like colors and clouds and all this shit,
Yeah,
and then
that's
like
cool.
characters that are elements of the personality of the AI interact with the guy who created it.
Yeah, like in anime Star Wars, you could do that too. Like the Force could be something.
Yeah,
You know, it could be spiritual. It could be energy. It could be.
They could talk.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Like they can make it like slightly different, but still hit the vein and like sprinkle some sauce on there.
yeah, and they're
Ninja Turtles.
Like
there's so many cartoons. Like
Well,
how
they're making that Ronin.
I think that's gonna be the one.
That's gonna be it.
And then isn't there another live action? But either way, like same with that, they just keep stretching and making like episodes of movies. Like just make one sick fucking series, because everyone our age is gonna go watch it.
Yeah, we don't want to watch movies necessarily. We want to watch series. Good
and make them banging.
Yeah.
Not like a show.
I do like movies, but it has to be very good.
Yeah.
So I think we're hitting on a particular point. Why haven't they been able to follow up T2 with a halfway decent actual movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now,
I don't remember T3.
T3 is just depressing. It's just super depressing. It's not very good. It doesn't look good. The only thing that kind of looks
Just a money grab.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of looks good about it is they go to essentially like long-term fallout shelter for government officials.
Oh, like in the mountains?
In the mountains.
I think I remember that part.
Yeah, that part was kind of cool. It made me think a little bit of War Games.
Okay.
And a little bit of oh my God, what's the name of the movie, the Brendan Fraser movie where
not Biodome.
No.
Where he comes from underneath the ground.
Yes, they go down because they think there's
Man or some shit. What's it called? Something Man?
No, maybe there might be the word man in it, but I know he comes up from the underground.
Yeah, because
I've seen that too.
The whole family goes underground to a fallout shelter.
Yeah, and then
because they think that there's been attacked and nothing's
Yeah.
happened. They come back up 20 or 30 years later or whatever, and he's like all grown up. Yeah. It just kind of looked a little bit like that to me. What was next? Genesis, maybe?
How did Terminator come back in T3?
Encino Man?
No,
He was. That's
because obviously he melts himself in T2.
correct. So another Terminator is sent back.
Got it.
And in the same vein as the second Terminator, and then there's a female Terminator who is a combination of the mechanical and the liquid metal, so she can do some of the liquid metal stuff.
So they really
but not
gave up
all
on
of it.
creative and just like went. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. It's like
it was the easy route.
Yeah, it was very
this
much
is safe.
check the boxes. Genesis was supposed to be the beginning of a new trilogy, and it was, like I think I was saying the last one is sort of a Back to the Future 2 kind of thing where it wraps around the original story, and they even like recreated some of the scenes from the original movie. And it had just crazy twists. Salvation was actually the one that was next. Salvation it would be fine if it were not a movie about the Terminator shit we know. If it were a movie about the Terminator shit that we had never seen, that'd have been great.
What's the world's consensus on Back to the Future trilogy?
Second one's the best.
First and second are good. The third one, it kind of sucks.
I
That's
like the
world's
Western one.
Wait,
but
I didn't
it
say
is the
what's
least
Dean
popular.
and Jim's. I said what's the world's consensus.
I think
it's
the
the
most
same.
popular. I think
it-
the most popular is the second.
But do they think it's a good trilogy or they think it's a one-offer?
Oh, I think it's a great trilogy. I loved all of them.
Now that I'm a Terminator guy, which I hadn't been before, Terminator's not a trilogy.
No,
Like
kinda
T2
not.
is by far.
yeah, the
For sure.
Dark Fate was an attempt to make the third movie ignoring the other ones, and I liked it, but it was objectively not nearly as good as the first two.
From my personal experience, I didn't see the first Terminator probably until like my 20s.
Yeah,
Where I watched T2 like tons of times.
That's like a
as
Star
kid.
Wars thing, right? Like even in our generation, I watched the first three 100 or like the first created 3, 4, 5, 6 a billion trillion times. I didn't even see pod racing in theaters.
Yeah. So,
really?
but with Back to the Future, I had the box set and I would just rotate
Yeah.
because I loved all of them.
Yeah.
So I would think that
I did later, and then I watched them a trillion times. But as a kid, because that came out probably late '90s, '98. I'm probably 10. I didn't go. I wasn't interested. I only wanted the OG shit. Where Back to the Future is another one. I don't think I watched it till I was like really sick one time in like my 20s.
Oh, really?
I had like
Really?
the flu, and then I just sat down and banged out all 3, and I loved all 3.
I think the second one's most popular because of the hoverboard stuff.
Yeah.
And Biff, with his cool the pit bull,
That's
whatever.
the casino too, right? Yeah, it's the
Um,
big casino fight battle drama.
that might be the yes.
Yeah, it's
That's
Yeah, because
the
the third's Wild West.
yeah, that's the West.
Yeah,
which I
because-
love that one.
Yeah, and the first one's good too, but even those, maybe people are just learning how to make a movie because there's almost ties between 1 and 2 there to 1 and 2 Terminator, where like the first one does just feel slow in hindsight,
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
one's slow compared to the second.
right?
Yeah.
In both of these cases.
Yeah, Alien and Aliens
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Whereas
The
third
sports almanac stuff, dude, like because you like
Yeah.
sports betting, like
Yeah.
that whole thing was like so cool, so genius.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah,
it starts to move. But I really liked all three of those, and they were insanely similar. Obviously,
I saw
Back to the
all three of
Future.
them in the theater.
I'll never forget the in the third one. It's like what's some shoes? Nikkei? Was that some kind of engine talk or something?
Yeah. Yeah,
We're looking at just Nike shoes.
Yeah,
It's got like the pink outfit on that. The whole scene where like when he goes through and then the Indians are chasing him in the car and he hides in that cave. Like that shit is like.
Yeah, it's good.
Third one's great.
Yeah, a lot of like similarities and like just chase scenes and like a little bit of humor, but it's not a funny movie necessarily.
Yeah.
And a lot of these type
Michael
of,
J. Fox was just very good
Yeah, he was good.
in those.
Yeah, I know he was he sold it.
And
Just
it's like
100%.
It's like kid movies, but they're not kid movies.
Yeah.
He's kind
That's
of
why
like that
they're
Tom
good.
Cruise, like jittery, like quick energy, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the hair kind of bouncing, like
Yeah.
kind of, you know, like
Yeah.
they got the same build. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
Little did we know
No, your
that it was
mannerisms was
Parkinson's.
good.
the
it,
whole
was the,
time.
it was just the Parkinson's.
Yeah, it was your
Parkinson's all along.
Have you guys seen that Curb episode with him?
No.
Oh
Newer?
my god, dude, it is so funny. We go really quick. So Michael J. Fox obviously plays himself, and he lives above. Larry David in this like whatever penthouse, and he comes over to Michael J. Fox comes over to Larry's house, and he like they're talking in the kitchen, and then like there's like they have like some tension between them, and then he opens up a soda and it sprays all over Larry David.
I feel like
And he's like, "Did you do that on purpose, or was that like the Parkinson's?" And he's like, "It was the Parkinson's." But then like they do like that face, like the. Are you sure?
Yeah.
That makes me laugh. That's
Dude.
good.
Larry David, I haven't watched a ton of Curb, but I've watched a handful. Every episode, I feel like everyone has tension with Larry David.
Yes, everybody
Yeah.
hates him.
Yeah.
And there's like stuff with him like stomping his feet upstairs and his boots, just like everybody thinks
Yeah,
he's just
so loud.
He doesn't know if he's fucking with them or if it's like because of the Parkinson's. He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry about. Oh yeah, that's just my Parkinson's." And
Yeah,
he just uses it to like fuck with Larry. That was so good.
Wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, it's great.
Given the opportunity to turn lemons into lemonade for yourself.
Dude, yeah, the fun.
Single serve lemonade.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what the missing thing is. I don't know. I mean, the second one is definitely a quantum leap on the first one, but they just never had another idea that worked. I will say that this Terminator Zero thing is probably the reason that it works is because it's an anime.
Sure. Yeah, you
So-
can be more creative.
Yeah, you can be a ton more like
Yeah.
you actually get to see the time travel machine
Yeah.
in
It
it. And you
is-
don't really in any of the other ones.
Is this the greatest sequel of all time
Maybe, right? Because
This
it's
one
like the
and
best.
this one and
for blockbusters?
Yeah.
Like big
Yeah,
picture
Aliens.
movies.
this one, Aliens, Dark Knight.
Dark Knight is fucking up there for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Aliens to be
But
honest,
I think
but
the
I'll take your word
chasm,
for it.
and this is personal opinion, the chasm between T1 and T2 is bigger than Dark Knight.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
I like Batman Begins.
Yeah, Batman
it's still
Begins is
good.
solid.
I
yeah.
don't.
Where like I literally would never watch T1 again.
I watched Batman Begins like maybe twice, dude. I watched Dark Knight like 100
Dark Knight's
times.
better for sure. Dark Knight's better for sure.
But I
But
just don't really care for Begins that much.
really, I thought it
Yeah.
was good.
It
I
is
liked
good, but it was kind of slow for me. I
It
don't know.
is, and
I didn't care about Sandman much.
yeah, it does get a little crazy on your eyes with the special effects
Or Scarecrow,
because they're
I mean.
so bad. We were talking about T2, like you understand that it's from the 90s and you can still take it in. Batman Begins, that's the train fight at the end, right? I think
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
that's so bad. That looks so bad. It takes me out of it. I'm like, fuck, this looks like trash.
I guess what would you consider like?
I would put it down so far for me to be the best sequel ever.
Or there's like Empire Strikes Back.
'Cause, yeah,
pretty
you
good.
could say Star
Empire
Wars,
Strikes Back,
right? Because that's
yeah.
the best movie ever.
Empire
Yeah,
Strikes
it's
Back
one of
is
the
up
best
there.
movies ever for sure.
But I also have this like really soft spot for New Hope. I just love
I
the
do
New
too.
Hope.
I do too.
I don't know. I would say I probably like Empire better though.
Because I like Obi. I do like Obi a lot.
Yeah.
In all versions of Obi. But Empire Strikes Back is so good. But again, the chasm, if you're saying the best sequel of all time, to me, it means that it's that much better than the first.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Then T2 probably takes it. Maybe Aliens. But I actually liked Alien better than T1 probably. I think there's like better.
Oh, I
Again,
agree.
talk about that
It's a
chasm.
better movie.
Yeah.
Alien,
Chasm, you're right. I think there's nothing better.
right? Like T1 really bored me.
even
Comparatively.
Yeah, for sure. Even just in general. Where
Yeah.
T2, again, like,
Locked in.
and it hit me with the Goonies, Stranger Things vibe, which is like right up my alley.
I think the thing you're saying is that it's just a better movie. Alien is a better movie than Terminator, and like Alien is one of those like almost a perfect movie by itself. Period. Where Terminator is not. I mean, there's just so many. There are a lot of flaws in it, and a lot of budget constraints.
What was the gap in time, production-wise, between the first and second Terminators?
7-ish.
7-ish
production, probably 6-ish, but yeah.
Yeah, probably they shot it probably in
and how many
83.
And how many movies did Arnold do in between that where he got some like better?
Probably one a year.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
maybe 2 a year.
I think he was just better as an actor by then too, right?
Yeah, he was probably ripping.
I think he probably
practice and table reads. And
how many great movies did he do in between that?
And how many did he like start and didn't finish?
I heard that show's great. Bad Monkey.
I do. I am a Vince Vaughn guy.
Yeah, I heard it's like. So I had someone describe it to me. I can't remember now, but
I never even heard of it. But I do like Vince.
They compared it like to something that is really good. Great content.
The Terminator was shot probably in 83 because it came out in 84.
Okay.
Where's his filmography? Why is this filmography not showing?
Oh, my buddy said it's like Fletch. He said it's Fletch, but with Vince Vaughn.
I don't know if I know Fletch either.
Fletch.
The first Fletch movie is outstanding.
Great.
It's so good. And the second one is terrible.
Fletch Lives.
Yeah, it's awful. It's
Jim, did you ever see what was the one before Fletch that he did? It was is it Wrongfully Accused? There's like the Pope's trying to get assassinated and he's like a cop. What's his name?
It's with Goldie Hawn?
Yeah, with Goldie Hawn. What was that called?
Oh my god.
Not Wrongfully Accused. It's like it's another word for like a crime. The name of the movie. It's like a crime term.
I'm screwed up. We're gonna have to find out here.
But also I like that one. There was like the dwarf. Remember like that's what they called him in the I know that's not the correct term these days, but that's what they called him in the movie. The dwarf, and everybody thinks he's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a parody of Alfred Hitchcock's.
Yes. It's all in San Francisco.
The Man Who Knew Too Much, I think.
And it's all in San Francisco.
And what is the name of this movie?
Isn't there a Man Who Knew Too Little?
Yeah,
with Murray?
Yeah, I think that's true. Oh my god. What year was that?
Oh, that was 70s, I think. Late 70s.
They moved the filmography around so you can't find anything anymore. Just pissed me off personally. And it's working. Law and Order. I don't know. He did not realize he did a Law and Order. He was probably a perv in it. Orange County.
Oh, he's great in Orange County.
Last Action Hero. All filmography. There it is. They buried it. Going back in time.
Back in time.
Back in time.
I do like the 50s era in the first Back to the Future, Mike.
Yeah.
The 50s is sick.
And like the because it's like Grease Lightning, fucking grab a milkshake. Yeah, all the cars.
Let's
are cool.
let's go to the pop store, grab a seltzer,
a comic book or some shit. Yeah.
Foul Play.
Foul Play.
I've heard of that. I don't think I've seen it.
It's funny. It's great. The whole thing was shot in NorCal or Bay Area.
Yeah, 1978.
78.
The other movie that I would throw into the Terminator mix, slightly older, but still in the same conversation in my brain, that I've never, and we talked about it, but I've never loved, is the Indiana Jones world. Right? That's kind of like
dude,
a similar.
That's my Star Wars, dude. Star Wars, and it's fucking Indiana Jones.
I feel like those are all in the same.
First three.
They're in the same bucket as where we're in right now.
The second one,
the second one's the worst one.
I've never liked it.
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. I've never liked it.
Is that one of the most famous though?
No, the most famous is the first one.
What's that called?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then Last Crusade, a lot of people liked too.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I've seen him in like a home.
Because it's him and his dad, and it's Sean Connery's dad, and Sean Connery's fantastic in it.
Yeah.
That one's about the Ark or the
Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
The first one was
Ark of the Covenant.
I have no idea what the second one was.
The second one was those. They were in India, and there was like those magic like rocks that they're trying to that this like underground kind of like religion gets a hold of at these powerful rocks, and like,
so it's like
a Rosetta Stone or something.
It's like Endgame.
yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the yeah, exactly.
Indiana Jones set off like the shitty Nick Cage movies and like all that. What is it? A treasure?
National Treasure.
Yeah,
National Treasure.
I
Right.
love those, dude. You don't like those?
Okay, apologies to my Nick Cage
You don't like
fans.
you don't like National Treasure?
I just feel like they're shitty versions of Indiana Jones meets Da Vinci Code.
See,
I was
that's
gonna say
why-
that's the
that's
thing.
why I
It's
like 'em.
definitely Da Vinci Code.
Right? It's just a shitty version.
I
of
love the history
It's Da Vinci Code
tie-ins,
coded.
I don't
I love
mind
the history
them.
tie-ins.
I'll watch them. They're definitely not going in my Star Wars
Anytime
themed
that
Airbnb.
yeah, anytime.
I'm not doing a Nick Cage version.
My gamer tag is not to dox myself. Never mind.
You're about to get a bunch of friend requests.
No, never mind.
Let's come shit
I
on
don't
you.
want to play with
Stream
anybody.
snipe you.
I don't want to play with anybody. Man.
Right though, like those kind of set off that genre. There's a bunch of rock movies that are like that, Treasure Island or something.
Those are dog shit.
I'm not saying they're good, but I'm saying that category was
never
launched by Harrison and Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones is fantastic. The first and the third are fantastic. The second one is like the one I watched the least, but it's good enough because you got the.
It feels.
That's where we first got what do they call him? Short Round, the kid with the Yankee hat, the Asian kid.
who was also in Goonies.
Goonies, yeah, a Data from Goonies. He's in the second one, so the stuff with him is really good. And the opening scene in the second one too, where like they're eating like all the like monkey brains and shit.
Yeah.
That whole scene was cool, and the poison and they're kicking her. Actually, the movie's actually not bad.
I've seen most of it recently, and I agree that I didn't hate it nearly
The
as much
first
as I did
half
the
is
first.
really good.
Yeah.
The second half of it really sucks.
Yeah, when you
That's
start
how it
ripping
is.
people's hearts out with your hands, that was
Yeah.
That's like, how does that work again?
Yeah, that part was dumb. That's when they got to like that stuff. It started getting weird.
Yeah, the first one is great just because of the way it ends. It ends so perfectly that they find the Ark of the Covenant and the government sticks it in a warehouse and no one will ever find it.
Yeah.
That's so perfectly bureaucratic.
Yes.
Like,
it was genius.
Yeah, this is life. We have anything else just like super pertinent to say about this show? I watched it in the cleanest Blu-ray that I can, that I have, and it wasn't even HDR or whatever, and it looked amazing.
See, I've definitely not watched it in Blu-ray.
They really cleaned it up, and like I said, the extra scenes help. Very often, deleted scenes are deleted for a really good reason. You don't need to see stuff.
You do need a 6-hour-long Hobbit journey.
Yeah, this gives you some extra context that you wouldn't have otherwise. That makes things hit different.
The beauty of like that is also the practical effects, right? Like those are going to look better with the the Blu-ray too, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the explosions are real, so they're not going to look like super shitty.
Yeah. True.
Like the hands are going to look. Yeah, it might look fake, but it's going to look cooler, clearer.
A thing I will say about practical effects, Linda Hamilton has an identical twin sister who is also in the movie.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
And in the scene where in the big manufacturing facility toward the end, when the T-1000 is pretending to be her, and then she walks up behind, that's her twin.
Yeah, like
that's cool.
That is cool.
So they didn't like have to CGI that in there.
Yeah.
That could have looked rough.
Yeah, no, it was just her and her sister. And the scene in the
that's crazy. No wonder that hits so hard.
Yeah, because it's perfect. It's like you're looking
That's
for
such
the
a rare
flaws.
treat to have.
You're looking for the flaws and you can't find it. The other one is the security guard at Pescadero.
Oh yeah, he's got a twin too.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah, when they face each other, those are
twins.
twins.
I remember hearing about that on like Instagram or some shit.
It's not an optical effect.
Yeah, the whole like going back to the nostalgia with him doing that like coffee machine.
Yeah, that with the cards.
Yeah,
hand of cards.
Yeah, that was like, why is that so cool?
It was cool. I remember I had a million of those. Not necessarily coffee. I had hot chocolate out of those machines. Those are very old. Those are from like when I was a kid.
I remember seeing those like in hospitals or some shit.
Yeah.
The break rooms.
Yeah.
Or
like my dad's like office building had one of those, like in the whatever.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't know for sure, but I think that maybe in the director's cut, you see a whole lot more of the Terminator is really the only father figure that has ever mattered to John Connor, and maybe that's part of why he turns out the way he does eventually.
Daddy issues.
Yeah, serious daddy issues, especially because mom's crazy. He really does the psychologically abused kid's reaction to mom thing super well in this. He's like, your mom's still your mom.
Yeah,
and you don't have enough agency to really reject your mother.
For sure, not at 10.
Yeah, especially not at 10. Yeah, when they go to try to save Miles Dyson, and he's yelling for his mom to stop, and it finally, when the kid is trying to save his dad, when he gets in front of it so that she can't fire, and she finally breaks down.
Yeah.
And then in the next scene, she's just a cold bitch again. Also, but what's his name? Joe Morton, who played Miles Dyson, is outstanding in this. He's like completely believable.
For sure.
Deep in it, that guy. Definitely that guy actor. He's been in a million things.
Yeah, that one guy.
And the wife has been in like Law and Order for 20 years or something like that. The actress who plays the wife, Sapatha, whatever her last name is.
Oh yeah, I do recognize her. You're right.
Yeah. All right, I think that's all I got. We got to rate this thing. For me, it's 5. Whatever I'm going to pick. I would say
Milk cartons.
Maybe 5 milk cartons. There we go. Yeah.
What was it? Lucky brand? You said?
Yeah. Yeah. It's Lucky's house brand.
Yeah, Lucky was like what? Like a Albertsons or Safeway, yeah?
Yeah,
we had Lucky's or Thrifty, that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Right.
Lucky was a straight up grocery store.
Yeah.
Thrifty was always
like a CVS,
a drugstore. Yeah, CVS.
Dude,
Rite Aid owns it now.
Thrifty's pistachio ice cream
still around.
Goated.
You still hunt her down.
Goated.
Walgreens seems to be like heading downwards. They're owned by CVS too, though, right? It's like the same shit.
I think it's possible.
They
yeah,
turned
sure.
the CVS in Elk Grove into a homeless shelter now.
No more Thrifties for you.
No more Thrifty's ice cream.
Yeah, no, their ice cream Loki bangs for $1.99.
Yeah,
it was so cheap for that tub.
It still was like 5 years ago. It still was.
Oh, it still is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's one in my hood.
Yeah,
It's still that same price for the ice cream.
Yeah, I think CVS serves them sometimes.
What?
Milk cartons, Lucky milk cartons. I'll give it a 4.6, 4.7.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's something I could rewatch. It's something if it's on TNT and I'm surfing, I'd stay.
I'd go 4.8 milk cartons. Big
4.8.
T2 guy.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely
It's
good.
our highest ratings so far, I probably would say.
Yeah, there's some documentary we might have gave a banger to.
Probably the steroid one.
Yeah.
Icarus?
Icarus. That was
There
outstanding.
might be some little stuff like that, or I don't know.
That's like a movie, though. It's like
It
a
is.
thriller.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It turns into a thriller.
It turns into fucking T3. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just the Russians are chasing them down. Yeah, it's good.
All right.
What did you give it, Jim?
I gave it 5.
Oh, you said
straight up 5. I can't. I mean, now that I have reconciled
yeah.
the Edward Furlong performance, he grew up to be a douchebag, man. Just like so many problems.
In real life or the
in real life. Yeah. And the guy who is the face of John Connor in the future, he's got that like whole side of his face is scarred or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Looks
yeah.
like a soap opera actor. I don't know who he is,
Yeah.
but yeah. Since I've reconciled that performance, because that was really the weakest link for me. Yeah, I think it's a 5. I don't know what I would do differently with this movie. I don't know. There are a few things that don't make a ton of sense, and sometimes the travel times are a little compressed and things like that. But in general, I just it's one of Cameron's masterpieces
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, I mean, What has he done better?
I think it's Aliens and
You think Aliens is better than T2?
I think Aliens is better
As
than
good?
It's at least as good. It's at least as good. I'm also a giant fan of The Abyss. Nobody who worked on that movie is a fan of that movie because it was so awful. But in part because
Another space movie?
No, it's water.
Oh.
So they actually shot a ton of stuff underwater.
Probably looked awful. Did it look okay?
It looks amazing.
Oh, really?
It looks totally convincing. Yeah, but they're in this giant tub. This there was a facility that had been it'd been a launch site for an ICBM, and they filled it up with water and they used it for that, and they also used a pool for other scene stuff. But yeah, they developed, the kind of helmet, diving helmet that you don't have to have a regulator in your mouth. It's pressurizes all around you and has a microphone so you can talk. Those were invented for
that movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where can they find you, Dean?
No, yeah, at DeanSaddoris.ck.
Ladies and gentlemen, new episode every Wednesday, 3sb.co for all your clothing needs. If you're in Northern California, come visit us, 3rd Street, Barbell, Sacramento, California.
I'm at the Jim McDonald, all those social media. This show is 50% facts, 4% is a word, and 50 is just numbers. 50% facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network. And we'll talk to you next time.
Texting little Abby because the fucking hurricane.
Oh.
What hurricane?